Get my little chat box out.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be getting started in just a moment while we've got people coming in. Where is everybody from? Go ahead and drop in the chat where you're from. Phoenix is in the house. Oh, Salt Lake City. Welcome. Anyone else want to chime in? We'll get started in just a second. Baltimore. Oh, Detroit, welcome.
Oh, good. I'm not the only Detroiter this evening.
Oh, Livonia too. Cool. Philly's in the house. Welcome, everybody. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get us started. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on tonight's Take a Virtual Vacation. I'm Maria Stephanopoulos with Ingenious Travel, joined here tonight by Candace Stearns with Stay Balanced Travel and Matt Maces. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Matt Maces from the American Queen Steamboat Company. Tonight we're going to be taking a trip down the Bourbon Trail. Share my screen. I think I've been doing this long enough that I should know how to do this, right?
You're doing fine.
All right. So again, thank you for joining us for tonight. We are. This was originally scheduled for the beginning of August, but Matt had an issue with some hurricane damage, and with those of you in the southeast through Texas, through the Gulf area, even really at the Atlantic coast, or can be familiar with what hurricane damage can do. So Matt, thanks so much for rescheduling with us tonight.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, Candace and I are both here. We're also part of a group of 5 travel agents, including Susan Schaefer of Ships and Trips Travel in the Nashville, Tennessee area, Barbara Oliver of All Together Now Travel, and Gail Sherman of Wine Lovers Travel, both located in the Los Angeles area. And we started this group back in April because of everything going on with COVID. And having said that, you know, we just saw all this negative stuff going on. We couldn't leave our homes. We weren't traveling. A lot of us couldn't even leave to go to work. Trips to the grocery store were limited. And we got together, like, how can we help people escape? And that's where we came up with the idea of taking a virtual vacation. And where you can, I guess I got my slides backwards. There we go. I apologize. I'm having some technical issues. The technical gremlins have been with me since the weekend, so I apologize. Where you can find us. I'm going backwards.
There you go.
Sorry, as I'm like bringing everybody all over the place on my screen. Apologies. Our Facebook group is Take a Virtual Vacation. There you can find our calendar of upcoming events along with previously recorded virtual vacations. We also have a YouTube channel. And for those of you in the greater Tampa Bay, Middle Tennessee, or Detroit area, you can also find us on meetup.com. And I will put all of these links in the chat so that you can find us a little more easily. On that note, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, send it over to Matt, and he's going to take us down the Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
Hi, everybody. Well, thanks, Candace. Thanks, Maria, for having me on with you tonight. This is a really great opportunity for us all to sort of indulge ourselves with an opportunity to take a ride on a riverboat along the Kentucky Bourbon Trail right here in your own backyard. So I know international travel's big. We all love it. Italy, all the great European destinations, Asia. I know Candace is going on some international travel here, and we here in the travel trade on the business side of it, we're the ones who are experiencing how suppliers and how experiences are these days in the light of what we're all facing here in our current climate. I'm actually going to New Orleans myself tomorrow. So we're out there.
Yay!
We're doing it. We're out there and we're making sure that it's all right for you. That's the biggest thing that we're concerned about. So today we're going to take a trip on the Bourbon Trail, on a cruise that we call Bourbon and American Spirit on the American Duchess Riverboat. So this is actually a really great opportunity to explore the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, 9 days on the Mississippi and Ohio rivers. So you get to travel two of the great majestic rivers of America from Memphis, Tennessee, down to Louisville, Kentucky, up to Louisville, Kentucky. That's in late August, so end of summer, early fall, into that fall season. This is a great opportunity. If you love the blues, if you love barbecue, if you love bourbon, you are going to indulge so many of your senses. And that's why partnering with Maria and Candace and everyone, it's really an opportunity for us to really indulge our senses with all that we'll get to do here on the river. So much like I mentioned, here in the heartland of America, Memphis to Louisville is where you're going to be heading up the Mississippi and Ohio rivers along the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So right now there's a little video playing, but I'm going to talk about some of the experiences. When you travel from Memphis, you're of course going to start in the heart of where rock and roll was built with Sun Records, the birthplace of Jerry Lee Lewis, the birthplace of rock and roll where Elvis created those great hits. And then we're going to head up the Kentucky Bourbon Trail towards some of the great distilleries through Paducah, Kentucky, Owensboro, Brandenburg. We'll visit places like Heaven Hills Distillery and Exhibition Center. The Jim Beam Distillery is there waiting for you. And of course, a couple of other smaller, more boutique luxury breweries that you're really going to find a lot of intricacies that, from the big brands that we all know and love and we indulge ourselves with, to these really unique regional brands that you're only going to find here along the trail. Now, when you're on the trail with us here on the riverboat, you actually get to take your purchases back onto the vessel. You can indulge while you're on the ship, or you can take it home. We'll actually ship it home for you for a very, very small fee. It's really a great service that we offer. Now, I just mentioned some of our suppliers and our partners, but our featured partners on this trip will be Maker's Mark. So we'll actually have Bill Samuels Jr., who is of the Samuels family that founded Maker's Mark. He'll be on, as well as a representative from Buffalo Trace. Those are our two featured partners that we'll have on with us doing tastings. We'll do cooking demos inspired with some great bourbons from the region. We'll actually
So
have
Matt, you're going to actually be on the boat.
yeah, so this is
The
not
ship,
just
correct?
yeah, that's right. So this is not just an onshore experience. We actually, one of the things that we love to do is bringing the experience while you're cruising too. So during the day and throughout the afternoons when we're cruising, we'll have some lectures, some special guests on talking about the history of bourbon cultivation. But we're really going to get into the tasting and sampling of bourbon. So we'll have sessions all throughout the cruise, whether it's large scale tasting sessions with some of our partners, or intimate sessions in one of the bars, and that'll be conducted by our special guest, Mr. Michael Veach. Now, Michael Veach, the reason we bring Michael on is because he is considered the utmost authority on bourbon. In fact, if you're up on your experts of cocktails, spirits, beers, wines, the name that usually comes to mind is Michael Jackson. Well, not this Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson, who was known as the foremost authority on beers and whiskeys. He's written many books. He passed away a while ago, but now even Michael Jackson considered Michael Veach the foremost authority on Kentucky bourbon. So he's on board. So we're not just going to push the stuff on you that's from our featured partners. Michael's going to lead tastings, talk about food pairings, have some intimate sessions, talk back sessions. He usually brings some cigars on, some real great sessions in the parlor. So this is really a great way to really indulge yourself and educate yourself on everything there is to know about the fine bourbons that are distilled along the Kentucky Bourbon Trail on the Ohio River. So really a great opportunity to get up close and personal with someone who truly knows what all there is to know about the Kentucky bourbons from all the different suppliers everywhere. So when we do this, we're going to do it on a riverboat. Now, I know I've heard some of you are from some different towns where I know where you're living. There's one of those little paddle boats that goes out on the Susquehanna River or goes out on the Delaware, might go out on the Lake Ozark. This is not your mama's paddle wheel, your little dinner sightseeing cruise. These vessels are large. They're the size of a football field. They hold the vessel we're going to talk about is called the American Duchess, and she holds just about 160 guests on board, which gives her an optimal boutique and opulent feel. You see the crystal chandeliers, the tall floor-to-ceiling windows that are ordained all throughout the vessel. This is one of our loft suites. You can actually have a loft, a two-story accommodation on this riverboat. This is, again, not your mama's paddle wheeler, that's for sure. Has all the modern amenities that you'd want from a trip, from any of your cruise ships, Wi-Fi, all wonderful dining accommodations, entertainment in the evening, outdoor bars. There's bars everywhere. This is the cruise to do a bourbon cruise on, because there's bars on every floor, every shape and size. There's outdoor bars, there's indoor bars, there's a great library lounge. You see some of our entertainers there doing one of the shows that we have on board. This is truly an immersive experience that gets you fulfilled and energized and really captured by what we're experiencing. That's what we love to do on these riverboats of America. We love for you to really feel immersed in the culture that's surrounding you. So there she is. Again, this is just a glimpse at what this boat looks like. If Mark Twain, when he was writing Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, if he ever thought a boat this size was going to be coming down the river, he probably would have thought it was from one of his stories, because these boats are so large. They're really something to behold when you see them in person. So that's really what we want to see. You see some of the outer decks there, the top deck, the steam stacks at the top. It really is a picturesque kind of experience, truly once in a lifetime, something that you can't replicate anywhere else. So here she is. This is a great glimpse at the American Duchess. She's only 160 guests, so you're going to have the room to move around, indulge yourself, not feel crowded. Especially, look, if in these days you want to feel like you can move about and do what you want to do without other people getting on top of you, this is the boat to do it on, because you're going to have a ton of room and space to move about. And plus, at the tastings and all of the events, you're not going to be waiting in line like a cattle call. You're going to be served promptly in the moment with the speaker or with the guest who's performing the sampling and talking about what we're tasting at the time. So this is really an opportune experience for you to really feel like you're up close and personal and involved with these intimate experiences. So the first thing I want to show you is this grand lobby bar. Now, this is beautiful. You see the sweeping staircase, the bar, the lounges off to the side. This is, again, one of the areas where you can just indulge yourself. Again, just one of many bars on board. Here's another view of this. Again, some intimate seating areas in the mezzanine. This is the place where if you want to find a nook and hide away with that favorite glass that of bourbon that you've come to know and love, whether it was prior to the cruise or you discovered it while you're on board, this is a great opportunity to really indulge yourself and have those quiet moments with your loved one, with your friends. It's really a great opportunity. Here's another venue, the Lincoln Library, the second bar on board. This becomes a smoky jazz lounge at night. Smoky in terms of the mood, not in terms of smoking in the actual room. But this is a great way, some cool, smooth jazz at night. Some nights we have piano sing-alongs, Billy Joel, Garth Brooks. I mean, it's really fun. I mean, you think about the Mississippi River and you kind of think of that old Dixieland and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a little bit of that here, but really the offerings are very modern and contemporary. You're not going to feel that there's one thing or the other that's too prevalent. A great mix of all an eclectic entertainment all throughout your voyage. And this is the show lounge. This is where most of the tastings for the broader presentations is going to take place. This is also where we do our shows. We show movies. We have a country line dancing night, 50s sock hop. Just really fun. I mean, you just wind up singing along to these songs that you know and love. And this is a great venue to do all of that in. So, of course, I know this is eat, drink, and travel. Now, what is an eat, drink, and travel club without eating, right? So this is the grand dining room. Again, 3 meals a day here, beautiful menus that are curated and by our culinary director. Now, look, I know these days we've got things like vegan, vegetarian, dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. We do all that and more because what we actually do is we actually crafted some of those specialty items into the menu so that you don't have to feel like you were special ordering every night. So say you are, you're dairy free. Well, I'll tell you, there's a couple nights where we serve a tomato bisque with a cashew cream. I never heard of that before. I used to work on board. I worked on board for 5 years. It is absolutely delectable. It is indulgent, and you never know that you're missing that traditional heavy whipping cream that you'd get in what the recipe calls for, for eons and eons before we got into all these things. So yeah, we really want to make sure that you know that you have the option to have your culinary experience be what you'd like. Now, here's another venue on board. Again, another dining venue, the River Club and Terrace with indoor and outdoor seating. This is open for breakfast and lunch. This is an amazing experience because the River Club and Terrace also has some outdoor seating. Again, another bar outside. There's a bar there in the back corner. So again, bars 3 and 4. Again, no shortage of opportunities to indulge yourself. This is on the back side of the boat, so you're actually going to get to feel a little bit of the mist from the paddle wheeler when it's going, cools you off on those summer nights. Enjoy your bourbons, enjoy your cigars. This is a really great opportunity. We do some barbecue out there on the deck, fresh barbecue ribs, burgers, steaks. It's an amazing experience. Again, true Americana at its finest. And again, outdoor deck space, you really can't beat it. I mean, just to watch the river go by, you really can't beat all the great bluegrass and the blues that you'll hear on the decks from our musicians, seeing the rolling hills of Kentucky and the Mississippi River go by. It's really amazing. And of course, the sun deck, another great opportunity just to sit back, relax, and lounge and enjoy yourselves. So these are some of the rooms. I'm going to go through these really, really quickly. I don't want to bore you with all the small details, but I just want to show you again, that this is not your mama's paddle wheeler. Okay, this is not the little paddle boat on the lake. Here's the owner's suite, 550 square feet, 1.5 baths. Again, you see the dark woods, the wonderful iridescent wallpapers, the loft suite, 2 floors. Both of these suites actually can accommodate up to 4 guests. Now that is an amazing feat. Up to 4 guests, a really great opportunity to travel with your family or to travel with friends who are like family in one suite. The loft suite has 2 full bathrooms, by the way. There's a glimpse of the seating area. The deluxe suite, another great accommodation. And look at these marble bathrooms. I mean, they are exquisite. I mean, this is true luxury and opulence right here in America. We also have some other veranda staterooms, which have a private balcony on the exterior, great sitting space, and a queen-size bed, as well as an inside stateroom. So that's our smallest accommodation, but we really run the gamut on what we've got. So look, here's the deal. When you're cruising in America, you are cruising true Americana. Our boats are all flagged with U.S. flags. We're licensed, bonded, and insured here in America. Look, these days, I'm sure you read the news about travel and different companies who you might have traveled with before. They're getting beat up in the news. We've all seen those things in reports on newspapers and on our Google alerts and everything. But we're bonded and insured here in America with an all-American crew. A lot of the crew is actually from the regions we visit, so they'll tell you the best places to visit when you're on shore. A really great, unique opportunity. So we're also a part of a company again. This is just the semantics I want to tell you because I want you to feel confident. Even though many of us haven't cruised and worked together before, I want to tell you that we're actually owned by a larger company called Hornblower Holdings. We operate all of these things. So maybe actually, I know someone's here from Philadelphia on the call. You've heard of the Spirit of Philadelphia, the great sightseeing and dinner cruise. We operate that. We operate vessels all throughout the world, not just overnight cruises. So our company is not just only doing overnight cruises. We've got all kind of maritime operations all throughout the world. So you can feel confident when you sail with us, that's for sure. We're also doing great enhanced safety measures. We've partnered with Oshner Health, who's the leading health provider along the Mississippi and Ohio rivers, with free telehealth services, enhanced screenings. I don't want to get into all the details, but just rest assured that Candace and Maria and your agents will know exactly what the protocols are, and we're doing everything we can think of to make sure that your experience is safe and comfortable. And finally, when it comes to booking, look, we know that these days you're not sure where you want to spend your money. We've got a great risk-free booking opportunity. If you book with us, you actually can cancel up to 120 days prior to your cruise, 100% refund. Not one of these credits, not one of these, money in the cloud kind of things to use for future date. You can actually get all your money back. So this cruise that we're talking about is in August of 2021. So you have till sometime in the middle of spring. I think it's like April. But so you can cruise. So you can book now, get some great incentive and savings that Candace and Maria and your agents here who've brought you on this experience have access to, and you can cancel if the world is a crazy place this time in April, you can cancel without any worry, that's for sure. So again, we talked about bourbon, and one of our featured partners is Maker's Mark. Now, I want to let you in a little secret. We actually have our company has its own drink that Maker's Mark has crafted just for us. And now I'm going to let you in a little secret. I actually, I want to show you how to make the proper American Queen. I was the cruise director years ago when we did this, and I did a little cocktail mixing for you. So take a look at this and see what you think. Here you go.
I love the mini bottle.
So there you go. Look, you're gonna get indulged with recipes of cocktails you never even heard before once you cruise with us. So that's the one thing that we want to stress, is that these cruises are truly unique experiences. You've never really considered, most people who we do these calls with, these Zoom calls with these days, they go, I've never considered going on the Mississippi River before because I have so many other things that I have thought would be just absolutely amazing in Europe or Asia, South America. This is really something unique. It's an inclusive vacation where you can actually sit back, relax, watch the river go by, and indulge yourself. Indulge your senses on the decks with our barbecue. Indulge yourself at our bars with our great mixologists who are on board. Enhance your education with our special guests. This is really an amazing opportunity that's close to home. I know we've got some folks who are not too far away from these stops and ports of call. So it's really an amazing trip. Again, the rock and roll and blues of Memphis on Beale Street, starting off, go to Graceland on that trip, and just head on up through the blues and barbecue of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So this is really a unique experience. And again, through the Eat Drink Travel Club, Maria, Candace, all of your travel agents that brought you on here, they had access to exclusive rates and incentives that are not available through the website. You can't call the call center and ask for those rates. Only your agents here on this call have these rates. So if you want to learn more about the pricing and all the great perks that you've got through Candace and Maria and the rest of the gang, make sure you give them a call or send them an email, because this is really going to be an opportunity that at the incentive rate that they've got really can't miss. That's for sure.
Matt, we have a couple of questions that
Sure.
came in. So one of the questions was from Debbie,
Mhm.
and she was asking if very many women go on the bourbon trails. I know I personally drink bourbon with my husband, but I wanted you to answer the question, since I know you've been on these cruise ships before, and you were actually there. So.
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, the truth is that on our boats, we get all kinds of travelers, solo, families, multi-generational. And on these bourbon cruises, believe it or not, we've seen it all. I used to work on board. I worked on board for about 5 years, different roles: hotel general manager, cruise director, all these different things. And yes, we have ladies clubs who come on board for these themed cruises. We have gentlemen's clubs, or the guys from the Rotary or VFW. I mean, we really see it all. And yeah, there's the great thing about these cruises is that, yes, these are bourbon themed cruises, but we have all of our regular programming as well. So one of the things that, when you look into a little bit more depth about our cruises, because I didn't want to get into a lot of the real nitty gritty, I wanted to make sure that we focused on the theming and of the club and of course the cruise. But we've got onboard lecturers who talk about the history of river travel, the entertainment. We've got amazing entertainers each night, whether it's a production Broadway style review with different themes, whether it's an open dance night, whether it's a comedian. We've got this amazing comic magician who comes on. First time I heard we were having him, he was a street magician from New Orleans. I thought, oh, this is going to be just hokey and cheesy. No, it is. I've never laughed so hard. So we really have fun on these cruises. So you can actually, again, make choices along the way about what you want to experience. All the shore excursions are included with your cruise. There are some premium tours that are a little bit more intimate experiences that are for a fee. But when you come on with us, all your shore excursions are included. We have a hop-on, hop-off bus that takes you around the town to the different distilleries, and all the regular attractions that we would normally visit on a non-themed cruise. So along the Ohio River, we stop in Rosemary Clooney's hometown, where George Clooney's mom and dad still live. So you actually can meet George Clooney's parents. His mom has a little gift shop. She knows when the boats are coming. She opens her shop. I mean, it's really amazing. Some really fun experiences that we have along the way that are not just bourbon themed. So you can actually do quite a bit of different things to indulge your different senses.
So that leads into one of the other questions about the frequency of the number of stops and how long people are on shore, what kind of excursions are included in the program. A lot of people are asking, because I think, quite frankly, a lot of people on the call tonight haven't been on a Mississippi River cruise or
Sure.
any cruise in America, right?
Sure. I'm going to pull up a different slide here. I want to show you guys something that I think might help give you a little bit better of an overview of what to expect when you're on board, especially with the shore excursion. So let me pull this up really quick. And so when you actually, the screen that I'm showing here is, let me see if I can, oops, I went to the beginning. Well, I'm gonna click through here. Don't mind all the great imagery here. Okay, so here's what I want to show you. When you come on board with us, this is a map of one of our stops. This is actually Natchez, Mississippi, which is on the lower Mississippi from New Orleans to Memphis, but it's the same kind of idea. So you're going to get this map every night before we stop in the next town, and this is going to show you each of the stops that's located along the hop-on, hop-off bus route. There's the buses there. There you see them. And they'll be at reduced capacity next year. They're Wi-Fi enabled. They'll be cleaned in between each run. We're going to seat back to front, so there's minimal passing as people board the buses. So that's the motor coaches. They follow us along the route. but you're going to get this map. And as you can see, there's about 10 stops along the way, 10 stops, and some of the stops have multiple points of interest. All of these things are included with your cruise fare. So you can see actually here in Natchez, actually one of the stops is the Charbonneau Distillery, which is one of the best whiskey distilleries in Mississippi. So that's included. And when you go into these attractions, the admission is complimentary with your cruise fare. The tastings at the Charbonneau Distillery, for instance, they're complimentary. So it's a really comprehensive program. The buses have a tour guide on board who actually narrates the history of the town. You'll hear about some of the famous stories, the famous residents, past and present, of the different towns. And again, that's all included. Some guests actually never get off the bus. They ride, see the sights from the bus, and then they go back on and have lunch. Now, on a theme cruise like this, you're getting off the bus. I know you're getting off the bus, that's for sure. But this is all included with your cruise fare. So you can actually make what you'd like of your vacation. Now, a lot of this information is available to you before you cruise. They'll be sent in your pre-cruise documents so you can get an idea of what you want to do in each city and town that we stop in. But this is just a really comprehensive way. Once you're there the night before each stop, you can actually get to know where each stop is and how you want to plan your day.
You mentioned multi-generational travel.
Mm-hmm.
So what age would be the youngest that you normally have on board? And then are there activities for the kids?
Sure. So we have no age restrictions on our vessels. So we've had newborns on in my 5 years, not often, but I've seen them. We have adjoining cabins. We have, again, triple and quadruple occupancy cabins, and those are all available throughout the fleet. Typically, our guests are adult travelers. You know, a majority of our guests are adults. I would say, I think the percentage is like 2 to 3% of travelers are children or teenagers. But yeah, when we have kids on board, the cruise director, the entertainment team, they play games, they put on movies. Those aren't things that are scheduled in the itinerary, but our crew, I'll tell you what, they go above and beyond. Because with only 160 guests, we get to know you. By the second, third day, the pursers at the front desk, they're going to be calling you by your first name. The bartenders are going to know what you're drinking. It really is a really neat experience. By the end of the 7 days, you're part of the family. That's for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions out there? Feel free to drop them in so that we can get those answered for you.
One thing I wanted to add too is that, okay, so I know this is a bourbon cruise, and this is one thing that I can't forget to say. I know a lot of you have been on other cruises, river cruises in Europe, or ocean cruises down in the Bahamas or Mexico. This is our unlimited beverage package. So we offer complimentary free pour of beer and wine at dinner included. So during dinner hours, so on your boat, I think it's between 5 and 9:30. House wine pours and domestic beer is included with the cruise fare. But you can actually buy this unlimited beverage package, which, get this is not a typo. For your cruise, it's $3.99 per cabin. So if there's 4 of you in the cabin, it's $3.99. 2 of you in the cabin, it's $3.99. I know that.
That's an awesome deal. Anybody who's ever been on an ocean cruise, they charge you X dollars a day for your water.
I know. I was going to say, I know if some of you have been on those ocean cruises, you should put a 1 in front of that number, and that would be sort of where it's at. So this is great. So of course there's a catch, there's a little catch, I want to be straight with you guys. Up to $12 in value. So if you're drinking Louis the 17th or something like that, again, there's a charge for that. Yeah. But for most of your spirit selections for your cocktails, your Grey Goose, your Maker's Mark, your Evan Williams.
Yeah, that's your average.
Yeah, so we're not pulling the wool over you by saying, you want Evan Williams, that's actually $13. No, most of the drinks on board fall under this category. That also includes your gratuity. So yeah, if you want to give your bartender or your server an extra tip, you can add it, but this includes the gratuity as well. So again, a phenomenal value. Plus, when you book through the agents who brought you to to the broadcast tonight, there's some great onboard credit offers to really
Yeah.
to help you offset this cost. So
We
again,
have what they call virtuoso amenities. If you're not using a virtuoso travel advisor, you're really missing out.
yeah, so on this state, and this state has an enhanced, I think you're getting another extra $50 per person. So this is really going to come in handy in addition to the virtuoso amenity. I mean, this is, again, there's some great value in the cruise fare that you get where we make it simple for you. We really do. We try and include everything. The Wi-Fi is included on board. Room service is complimentary 24 hours a day. All of our restaurants are included. There's no upcharge for the alfresco dining or the river club. It's all included. No, you don't really have to worry about much else, especially if you take care of the beverage package. Not much else to spend your money on while you're on board.
So Susan had asked a question about the number of nights that the cruises typically are. I know up here on the slide it talks about a 7-night voyage. Is that the number of nights that are typical for your different themed cruises?
Yeah, so the great thing is that this is a 7-night cruise. That's 7 nights on the river. Now, if you look at any of the brochures or any of the materials that you might find online or through Maria or Candace, you'll see that a lot of our material will call these 9-day cruises, and that's because each of your cruise here begins with a pre-cruise hotel stay complimentary with your cruise fare. Now, that allows you, again, you're starting in Memphis. So you fly into Memphis the day before the cruise starts.
Or
You have
drive if you're from Detroit.
or driving from Detroit, that's good, or Wyandotte or any of the places, around there. You're going to get to Memphis, and what you're going to get to do is that the hotel accommodations are at the Sheraton downtown. So you're literally a block away from Beale Street, the Elvis Presley statue, about 3 blocks from the Lorraine Motel where Martin Luther King was killed tragically. So you're right in the heart of Memphis. So you go down on Beale Street at night. The next morning, you can go take the tour of Graceland during the day. We have some packages Candace and Maria can walk you through that'll actually take you from the hotel to Graceland. You get on Elvis's planes, you see the jungle room. It's really a great experience, and we take you right to the boat from there. So all your luggage is handled, no problem. That's all with that Graceland package. But included with your cruise fare, you get that stay at the Sheraton. You get complimentary breakfast at the Sheraton in the morning, complimentary porterage of your luggage from your room at the Sheraton to the boat, and we pick you up in the motor coach and we take you to the vessel. Easy peasy. The band will be on, playing you on the decks. It's really an easy way to see the best of Memphis as you want. Indulge yourself the night before and get on the boat without a care in the world the next day.
Great. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
it looks like it's all the questions we have. Any last minute questions before we wrap up? Well, if you do think of any, feel free to reach out to us. I put in the chat how you can get in touch with us through the Facebook group, our YouTube channel information, as well as the meetups for those of you in the Tampa, Nashville, or Detroit areas. Thank you so much for joining us. You can actually save the chat if you'd like. If you look down at the bottom of the chat on the right, you'll see a box with 3 dots. You can click on that and then click on Save Chat so you have our information. We look forward to you joining us in the group. And we look forward to you joining us next week. We'll be spending some time in Montreal, Canada. Matt, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your time. Candace, good seeing you as always. And for the rest of you, we look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group and on further virtual vacations. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you around the boat, everybody.
Bye-bye.